Finding problems? That's easy. They exist in every community. I'm Terry Springs, your host. We're looking deeper, and we are talking solutions, finding out how we all can make a difference. Now on Talking Solutions, we need to give an update on what's going on with the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center. In studio, Teresa Etchenberry, Terri Keener, and also Tennille Periera. And a reminder, October 1st is the absolute deadline for anyone who is on site for that event. Even if you haven't had medical bills, it's a good idea to get yourself signed up for the Nevada Crime Victims Fund. Because down the road, if you have those issues, you're already signed up. And if you don't get yourself on that registry by October 1st, you're shut out for good. Teresa Etchenberry, supervising the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center as we come up on the 1-year anniversary date of that horrible night. I think it's important we all recognize that there are still issues here that need to be dealt with. It's far from over.
We still contact people that we know to contact. We call, we do wellness checks, we find out what's happening, what's going on with their lives. Some people express that they have some issues, and whatever those issues are, we are able to either refer them in-house. A lot of times we send referrals over to Legal Aid of Southern Nevada to work with people. Some didn't even know they can sign up for the victims of crime. They've been paying out of pocket, and now their medical issues are getting to a point where they're struggling. We're very fortunate to have Legal Aid there to be able to help them go through that process and help them figure things out. Other people, when we call, they didn't even know that we were around, and they were very appreciative that we called to check in on them and just let them know that if they need anything, just give us a call, and also talk about the victims of crime and having to sign up for that. Other people know about the victims of crime, but they think, oh, I don't really need it. And we strongly encourage everyone to sign up. It takes you 5-6 minutes, depending on how fast you are on your computer, to fill out the form. You may never need it, but because the deadline is this coming October 1st, we're wanting as many people to sign up for it. Just sign up, and then victims of crime will contact you after they get your application. You may not need it. You don't know. You might need it a year from now. You may need it 2 years from now, 5 years from now, because while we have learned from other mass violence events, this happened in our city. This happened in Las Vegas. And there were many people from around the country, from around the world that came. And some people never had anything horrific happen to them personally. And now this happened. So they don't know how to react. A lot of people just went back to their daily lives, and then all of a sudden they're like, maybe something is not right. That's the reason why we encourage them to either give us a call to talk about it, help them sort of problem solve what's going on in their lives. We sort of help through our call center to prioritize things for them. We also have a representative from Victims of Crime to talk to them about what it pays for, how they can use it, and what are the next steps and what they need to do.
There are a lot of different services that are available within the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center. And it's not just for people who were on site at that event that night.
That's correct. We have a lot of people that were working the event, but we also have people that were in the surrounding areas, other staff in the other casinos that were affected by it. So we ask people to call us. We don't not talk to anybody. We don't say, oh, you weren't there, so we can't talk to you. We have a lot of people that call us and say they were affected by it. We had a lot of people that were homeless in that area that we talk to and try to get services for as well.
So the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center serves anyone who has a need. You're not saying you need to prove to us first that you were there. That's not what it's all about. It's about healing our community in so many ways.
Yes.
The Vegas Strong Resiliency Center, it's going to be around for quite a while.
Yes, our funding is for 3 years. And then after that funding, I think that we are still going to be serving victims in the Clark County area for a long time. This one event was a huge event, but crime still happens, and it still happens every day. You're going to continue to have victims. And so the Resiliency Center, I hope, is going to survive beyond that and really continue the work, but we will be expanding it to everyone that's affected by crime here in Clark County.
And you are an attorney, and you're also working on legal issues for people who visit the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center.
Yes, I am.
All of these things are important as we come up on the 1-year anniversary date of that horrible night. the deadline that we have coming up on October 1st, that 1-year mark. Tennille, as an attorney involved with Legal Aid of Nevada and on site with the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center, I would imagine you're counseling a lot of people about getting themselves put on that list for the Crime Victims Fund.
Absolutely. October 1st is the deadline, and we're reaching out to whoever can hear us to let them know, even if it doesn't impact you, likely there is someone that you know that was there or was impacted by this event. And we encourage everyone to file an application before October 1 because that is a deadline. It doesn't mean you have to use services or use those benefits by October 1, but it locks in whether or not you qualify for those benefits in the future if you do need them. You know, a lot of the things we know about PTSD is that it doesn't always exhibit initially, that it can exhibit down the road. So we would hate to have people not file because they feel, oh, I'm okay, I don't need any benefits, and then down the road need those benefits but haven't filed for them. So we are highly encouraging everyone to just file the application.
Look at it as an insurance policy that costs you nothing. Hopefully, you never need to use that resource. But if you do need it down the road, you need to be on that list. And that list locks down October 1st. So it's critical. Is the Crime Victims Fund related to 1 October? Is it for people who were on site at the concert that evening?
As an attorney, I have somewhat of a different interpretation based on whatever client I'm serving. However, the Victims of Crime program themselves is viewing it as individuals that were directly impacted by this event. So they don't necessarily have to be within the boundaries of the concert. They could have been at the parking lot behind the concert that actually did have direct fire in that direction. We know that there were bullets that hit at the airport at the fuel tanks. So you don't have to necessarily have been a concert goer to be considered a victim of this crime, but you do have to show that you were directly impacted in order to qualify for that fund. However, as an attorney, I represent a number of clients that may have been denied certain benefits. And if that is a situation for anyone out there, reach out to me. I am at the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center. I have another full-time attorney and legal advocate, and we do assist in those appeals and those types of issues.
Tennille, those appeals and following up on maybe something being denied already, is that also under a time restriction?
It is, but that's something that I would worry about. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of procedure. There are time requirements that those appeals have to be filed, but if you have been denied and you want us to look into it, just give me a call. We're more than happy to look into it. If you haven't filed it all, again, October 1, get that application in now.
So would we say time is of the essence? Do it. If
Absolutely.
you have in the back of your mind that maybe somewhere down the road you may need some help, do it, even if you don't need it now.
Yes. None of us have a globe into the future. None of us know what will happen. You know, you may have good insurance today. 6 months down the road, you may no longer have good insurance. You just don't know what's going to happen. So file the application.
One of my favorite sayings is, life has no guarantees. Tennille, we were talking about PTSD, maybe presenting. Terri Keener, that gives me a perfect opportunity to talk to you doing behavioral health with the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center, a documentary that's running currently on the Clark County cable channel. One of the things that I found most interesting was the mental health issues that were addressed. One of the things they mentioned during the program, that even though we're now coming up very close to the 1-year anniversary, it was pointed out that we're still very early in the process of dealing with all of these issues.
Yes. Many people found ways to cope without really thinking about it, maybe keeping busy. We know 17 years later from 9/11 that people are still coping. So we know that this event is in its early stages. The anniversary, the 1-year mark, for many people it will bring them right back to that moment that they experienced, either when they first heard about it or when they were there.
It dredges up all those memories. And when they talk about PTSD presenting, maybe it has not been an issue for a person involved in this event, but there are certain cues that I found really interesting, how maybe you will get the smell of a food that you smelled that night. Maybe you'll hear a song by an artist who was part of the event, not even the same song that was part of that night.
Exactly.
But there are so many different triggers that may kick you into PTSD. Is it in you and it just doesn't come out? I mean, how does that work?
Well, the way the brain and the body store memories is very interesting. But yes, it is there, and people may not even be looking at the calendar. But if you're in Las Vegas, how do you not be reminded on a daily basis because it happened in your community? And there may be sounds, there may be smells, there may be tastes, there may be situations, crowds near the Strip. There are so many things that remind people of what happened. And it's different for everybody because everybody sat in a different place or was in a different place, so they had a different view and a different perspective. So different things will be reminders for them. And they may not even realize what's happening when a reminder occurs. It's a sensation, usually a taste, a smell, a sound. If they're in this situation, but that sound somehow is putting them back in the original situation, may not click for them that that's what's happening. And so it may be confusing, and they may think that something is wrong or that the progress they have made since then, that they're having a setback or they're losing that progress. But that's normal and that's natural and that's going to happen. It's going to happen to people who don't think it's going to happen to them.
And Terri, since you are a behavioral health specialist, have you encountered people through the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center who were not at the concert, but also have been affected? Like you said, all of us who live here in Las Vegas and Southern Nevada, we all live through this too, not to the extent of the people on site, but it has been so pervasive. There's been so much of it that I would imagine you've encountered people who, even though they weren't on site, were definitely affected. I don't know to the extent of a PTSD, but it had such an impact on all of us.
You know, PTSD can be secondary. It doesn't have to be that you were there. And yes, I've talked with people who heard the sirens and weren't sure what was happening, weren't sure where someone they knew was in relationship to the event, but were watching the news, watching the social media. So sirens for them, that's one of the things that I've heard from people, is a reminder, and it kind of sends them back to that anxious situation that they felt at the time. Maybe the food trucks, you know, it just could be a number of things, and it's not just people who were there, because people left that scene and were in other places.
Sure.
Found refuge, found safety in a different place, and there were people there receiving them and helping them out. There were, of course, people driving others to the hospital. There were people at the hospital receiving the patients, and some of them were not medical staff. They were janitorial staff or security. They were in a lot of different roles coming in contact with people. People went to the airport and left without getting medical care, even though they needed it, just because they were getting away from the scene. So there were people all over that encountered the event in some way.
One of our Beasley Media Group stations was on site for the concert, 1027 The Coyote. I had coworkers and friends who were part of that scene. And one of the most vivid memories that I have from right after the event, within the next day or two, one of the guys I worked with who was on Coyote, he was there when the shots were fired. Fortunately, he was not physically injured, but within a day or two, he was in the shower. And he mentioned to me when he came to work, he said, you know how the water kind of drips from the faucet when you turn the shower head on? And I said, yeah. He said, sounds kind of like bullets. I mean, you don't know what is going to spur that PTSD reaction.
Exactly. I've heard a number of things. Dog shaking its head and the ears flapping, a flag in the wind. So many different things sounding like bullets. I mean, fireworks are an obvious one, but there are many other things that are reminding people similar.
And I also want to add, along with what Terri is talking about with PTSD, is that people can actually have physical ailments around certain times of the year and also around the first anniversary. They don't know why they're sick, or they don't know why their bones ache or whatever, but it can manifest physically into the body as well. So at the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center, I encourage people to call us, because sometimes people get up in the morning and they think they're okay, and then something happens or they don't feel good. Call us and we'll be more than happy to talk with you. 702-455-2433. The out of area number is 1-833-299-2433.
I will put all that on the Talking Solutions Facebook page.
Terri's available to talk with. We have another mental health clinician there as well. There's people to talk to. We don't want people to think that they can't talk to us, and we don't want people to think that they're forgotten, because we are there for them. We want them to call us, and we want them to not feel like, well, I don't want to bother you. You're not bothering us.
You're the reason we're here.
That's right. You can call us and ask us questions that you feel that you think you need to have answered, and we're more than happy to try to help you out as much as possible.
And it's not just for the people attending the concert. If you've been affected by 1 October in whatever way, the best thing to do, if you think you might need some assistance of any kind, call. Find out. We're going to put the phone number for the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center, the website, all the contact information on our Talking Solutions Facebook page, along with the podcast of our discussion today, talking about the mental health arm of this whole event and the way it's affected us. I heard one line during the program that I referred to, that it's okay not to be okay.
Absolutely. PTSD is not something that indicates a person's weakness or something that's wrong with a person. It's about something that happened to the person or something that they experienced, witnessed, heard about, or impacted a loved one. So we want people to understand that it's okay not to be okay. And if you're not sure, like Teresa's saying, call us, talk to someone, reach out and say, hey, I'm not sure about what's going on with me, but it doesn't feel right, because it's natural. It's about what happened. It's not about the person, their weakness, their inability to cope or to manage. It's about what happened.
And it's not that you're weak. And like Teresa mentioned, someone may be saying, I'm sick and I don't understand why. I just feel crappy. I don't get it. It's not a sign of weakness. Sadly, it might be your new normal, and to address it and maybe get some more understanding of why your body is reacting the way it is to what you've been exposed to.
Yeah, and one of the ways we work with people who have PTSD is to provide information and educate them about how that works and what it is that happens. So with information, people can choose the course of treatment or the course of intervention that works best for them so that they can find that new normal. People are not going to be the same. Our community is not the same. But a new normal can still be okay. I've even talked with a couple of survivors who've talked about their post-traumatic growth, that they have taken a very difficult journey to heal, and they feel they've come out stronger.
Knowledge is power. Always believe that. Terri, for people in our circle, are there any symptoms or anything we should be looking for if they have not been able to really deal with the issue, even as we approach the 1-year mark? Anything as we watch the people we care about that we should be watching for?
One of the main things is any changes in behavior. If the person was outgoing and social and they're suddenly withdrawn, or anything that is extremely different. But there's also signs and symptoms of PTSD or a reaction to such an event, anxiety, not wanting to go out into crowds, avoidance, not wanting to do the things that they used to enjoy, or it could be self-medicating, not feeling good, so they may be increasing their use of alcohol or drugs. They may be easily startled. They may be very hypervigilant, always kind of looking over their shoulder. It affects one's sense of safety and one's sense of the world making sense and being predictable. So you may see them acting in ways that are responding to that.
Another friend who had been on site, when you mentioned self-medicating, that makes perfect sense. The increased use of alcohol, the extreme unexplained anger, and there are a lot of signs of PTSD. Would you suggest that for anybody, not just the people who were there that night, if you were affected by 1 October and you think you should talk about some of this stuff, it really helps. They should contact the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center.
Yes, we have resources and we have tips on how to cope, things that you can do to help yourself, things that you can do to help others. We definitely encourage people to talk to each other, find some place that they feel safe to talk, to take care of themselves, whatever it is. If they can figure out what their reminders or triggers are, they can figure out ways to cope with them, and they can engage the people around them that care about them to help them with that and make plans. What are you going to be doing this year on October 1st? That's going to be different for everybody.
I'm thinking about that now that you mentioned it. What are we going to be doing on 1 October? I don't know. Wow. As I mentioned a while ago, the new normal, it's not what any of us would choose, but it's how it is these days. To deal with it and to take some positive steps are the ways that we can handle it ongoing, effectively, and in a healthy way.
Exactly. We want to encourage and help people find healthy ways to cope and to move beyond the pain toward healing.
We can get through this, and we will get through this together. Coming up on the 1-year anniversary of 1 October, I think it's going to be kind of a touchy day for a lot of people as it sinks in, and the media coverage, I'm sure, will be very intense. I would imagine it won't just be locally. This was such a huge event that we will see it covered also on a national, perhaps international basis. So it's going to be out there. We might just steel ourselves and be ready to deal with it. And I know that the Las Vegas community really banded together, and we are truly Vegas strong, more than we ever were before. We can do this. We just need to lean on each other.
Absolutely. And the outpouring of community support has been enormous. And I know Teresa's staff take calls every day with people wanting to do something, wanting to help, wanting to be a part of something that is helping the community heal.
I love this community, and I love the people who care about others. And that's what this is all about. One of the things that we do as part of every Talking Solutions show, Tennille, as an attorney who helps at the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center, we ask, what can we do to help you?
You can get the word out. You can watch and be vigilant. Almost everyone knows someone that was directly impacted or was directly impacted themselves. So watch those individuals, see how they're doing, encourage them, again, to file that Victims of Crime application for benefits, encourage them to reach out to the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center. If they're having issues in their life, we've seen a number of issues that people don't always relate back directly to the shooting. Changes in family dynamics, domestic violence, increased alcohol use or substance abuse, financial issues, loss of job, either voluntarily or by choice. There are so many things in one's life that this can impact that they may not think there is help for, but there is help. Reach out to us as attorneys. We see everything as a legal issue, whereas some people will see a medical bill as, well, this is a money issue because I don't have money to pay it. Well, I look at it and I see it as a legal issue because there may be a defense to that bill, or there may be a way to negotiate that bill. Legally, there's usually something that we can do. So if you see individuals out in the community that have been impacted, or for yourself that are struggling with other issues that are kind of on the outskirts, the impacts, anytime a mass violence incident happens, it's ripples. So you have the center of the initial hit, but you have ripples through everyone's lives and throughout the community. And there's a number of things that can happen. So don't think there isn't assistance or help out there just because you don't see it as directly related, because there's a strong likelihood that it is related. We're there to help with all types of issues. So reach out and give us a call, and we'll see what we can do.
And don't forget that October 1st is the deadline for people to get themselves onto the registry for the Crime Victims Fund. Even if you don't need it now, if you ever need it in the future, like I said, look at it as an insurance policy. If you ever need it down the road, you must get yourself on that list by October 1st. We'll have all the links and everything on the Talking Solutions Facebook page, along with the podcast. Terri Keener talking about mental health. This is a big chunk of the pie.
Yes.
In the aftermath to 1 October.
Yes.
And the assistance that you offer through the Vegas Strong Recovery Center, not just restricted to the people who are there.
Right.
If they need you.
Exactly. Anyone who was impacted or has a question for someone they know that they believe was impacted. People were here from all over. We're not just here for Vegas. We're here for anyone who was here. And we're here for people who were impacted in any way by being a part of a community where this incident occurred.
And Terri, of course, is part of Talking Solutions. I asked the same question to you that I asked Tennille, and that is, what can we do to help you?
Well, I think what Tennille said was great, and along those same lines, be kind to each other. Know that this is a difficult time. Some people are in a very good place right now. They've come a long way and they're doing well. And the 1 year mark will still be a difficult time for them. Some people have not yet started to deal with this, and they may not understand what's happening. So people's behavior may not make a lot of sense to them and to others. There's anger, there's guilt, anxiety, fear, a sense of helplessness that may come over people at a time when it doesn't make any sense based on the situation that they're in at the moment. But it's because those reminders are there. And, Vegas Strong is a great slogan, and it's all over, and it's meant to provide support and to say we care, we understand, we know that you're there, and we care about you. But it is also a reminder.
Yeah.
There's just no getting away from that. So care for one another. Encourage people to reach out to others. Talk to someone, ask questions, get information, prepare, plan, know that can be a difficult day, and be prepared to take care of yourself and each other.
We'll get through this together. If they have any kind of concerns, reach out to the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center.
Yes.
702-455-2433. The out-of-area number is 1-833-299-2433.
All that on the Talking Solutions Facebook page. Teresa Etchenberry, same question. Talking Solutions, what can we do to help you?
I think just to sort of mirror what Tennille and Terri were talking about, one is the center is there to answer your questions. We encourage people to call us and not be embarrassed or feel silly about doing it because we're there to help you. The call center is set up to get information to people as quickly as possible if we don't have the information at the time that you call. I've asked the call center staff to make sure that you get back to somebody within 24 hours. So sometimes I'm the gnat that's always picking at somebody else saying, I need the answer now, and I need reasons why. And everyone that is involved with the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center has been very good about that, getting us those answers. The other part of it is, I think that we need to show a lot of gratitude to our first responders. They are people that deal with tragedy every single day. But I do believe that those first responders probably had never imagined the carnage that they saw that night.
Who could have?
That affects them. And even though they're trained to run to the fire, run to rescue people, that does deeply affect them. And so I would ask wherever we are that we have them in our thoughts, our prayers, to just show gratitude to them, because aside from the people that were in harm's way and running for their lives, they were the ones that were dealing with it and trying to get people out of harm's way and then having to deal with the aftermath of that. It is a burden on our community to have that image that is always going to mark Las Vegas. There may be another mass shooting and there may be more casualties and, the world goes on and that focus will be there. But those of us that live here, those of us that were at Route 91 Harvest Festival, it's always going to be with them. I recently had the opportunity to talk to someone that lost their husband in 9/11. We were just having a casual conversation and she told me, she says, Teresa, I am still affected, not just for the fact that I lost my husband, but just in the way that I lost him. She said, whoever you live with, whoever your friends are, whoever your loved ones are, tell them that you love them. Be kind to them, because you just never know when you're not going to see them again.
Once again, life has no guarantees.
That's right. And that affected me, So I always make sure that I end the day with whoever I interact with, my husband, or they leave for the house. I always say, I love you, have a good day, whatever, because as you said, life has no guarantees and you don't know if somebody's not going to come home.
Kindness. Can't ever have too much kindness. Whew. I knew when I invited you three in to talk about the whole Vegas Strong issue and the Resiliency Center that it would be emotional. Of course, it's going to be. This changed all of our lives as Southern Nevadans forever, even for the ones who weren't on the premises. It's going to be an emotional day, I believe, on 1 October. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
1 October, Nevada Victims of Crime. Sign up, sign up, sign up.
Insurance policy, I'm telling you. I want to say thank you to Teresa Etchenberry, overseeing everything at the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center. Opened since shortly after the event last year, but it's going to be around for at least a couple more years. So don't believe that you have to have been on site at the event to call, ask questions, take advantage of the offerings they have. Also, Terri Keener handling behavioral health issues at the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center. You're there to help people.
Yes.
Phone number, everything on the Talking Solutions Facebook page. And Tennille Periera, attorney with Legal Aid of Nevada, also helping out at the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center October 1st. It is a true deadline for the Crime Victims Fund. People need to sign up even if they don't believe they ever need it, just in case.
Absolutely.
Teresa, what are the hours of the Resiliency Center?
Monday through Friday, 10 to 5. If they need anything, just give us a call. 702-455-2433. The out-of-area number is 1-833-299-2433.
All that on the Talking Solutions Facebook page. Teresa Etchenberry, Terri Keener, and also Tennille Periera. Thanks so much for coming in today. I really appreciate all the information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talking Solutions is a production of the Community Relations Department here at Beasley Media Group Las Vegas. Get more information on today's topic on our Talking Solutions page on Facebook, where you will also find links and a podcast of today's show. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.